home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
It's time to turn off ringers and cheer for dingers with US Mode from US Cellular. Whether you're in the stadium or listening to the game on the radio, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and other Brewers fans. US Cellular is all about a healthier relationship with technology. That means when the game is on, notifications go off. Take the US Mode pledge and commit to more meaningful game days. On game days, set your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Brew Crew with your crew. US Cellular, built for us.
Lots of insurance companies make promises about how much you can save if you switch over to them. Well, here's our promise. With the West Bend policy, you can save everything. Every memory, every detail, everything you've worked so hard for. Once it comes time to actually make a claim, a cheap insurance policy can really cost you. Why not protect everything that matters with a policy from West Bend? Because the worst brings out our best. Visit thesilverlining.com to find out more.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Get up! Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Milwaukee, pat yourselves on the back right now. That was incredible. What an atmosphere at the ballpark today. Brewers win 5-1. That certainly helped. But, man, I walked in today thinking, I really don't know. Members of the media, I mean, there'll probably be boos. But I really don't know. I was in a scrum like 40 deep listening to Craig Counsell today. And then, bam, right off the top. Boos, chaos. They let them know real quick. No. This is a rivalry, and you're on the other side now. And the tone was set from the jump. I mean, this felt like an NFL game. This felt like an NBA game. This felt pure animosity. This felt like a college football rivalry game. Pure hatred. This was wild today. This was incredible. And nothing crossed the line. Nothing got out of hand. That's how it's supposed to be. Well done. Well done by everyone. That was a really fun environment. And the Brewers won. 5-1, the final today. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is with us today. Augie, man. Dude, I mean, we all were ready for this game. I don't think we were ready for this game.
I think we all ready for this game. I think anytime when you have Craig coming back, and I have mixed emotions on the Brewers. I guess because I know Craig so well. I've known him since he's been 8 years old, and he gave his heart and soul to the organization. And a lot what's going on with this ball club now is going on because of him. And so, yeah, he did leave, and he did go to the rival. It's always going to be a rival with the Cubs. But you know what? Let the fans do their booing. I think Craig respects that, and let's play baseball. And he couldn't have been asked for a better baseball game than we had today.
I mean, the game itself, if it was against the Rockies, would have been this entertaining, right? This was really fun. The atmosphere just added on to it. This game was scoreless through 7 innings, and the Brewers finally busted it open in the bottom of the 8th inning, taking advantage of an error and then the big swing by Willy Adames to make it a 4-0 game. And Jackson Chourio got on the party with an RBI double as well. It was 5-0 at one point. 5-1 was the final today. The phone number, if you want to join us here on the program, is 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. Today we get to talk a lot about left-handed pitching, Augie, and I know that's what you love to talk about because Robert Gasser, if it wasn't Craig Counsell's return, Gasser would be the headline today because 6+ innings, 7 strikeouts, 3 singles. I'm sure he would have loved to have finished that 7th inning, but if there were run support, he would have been given an opportunity to. Robert Gasser has stabilized this rotation, and he has quietly been one of the most important arms for the Brewers now moving forward.
Yeah, there's no question. He's so impressive when he comes out. You look at what he does. First pitch strikes are in the 70%. That's almost unheard of when you be able to do that on a consistent basis. You look at his pitch count today. He threw 80 pitches, 63 for strikes. That's amazing when you talk about the amount of percentage of strikes that you throw and you commit. But, I watched him pitch today, and I'm trying to figure out, who does he remind me of? What's the style of guy that he reminds me of? He's got a little bit of Mike Caldwell in him. I think when you look at what he does, he commands a strike zone a little bit different than Mike. Mike used to use the sinking fastball. He used the cutter fastball a little bit, maybe like a Wade Miley throwing the baseball. But, he commands a strike zone. He pitches to zones. He works on angles, and he just commands a strike zone. Very seldom does you see him go to 3-ball counts, and that's a real credit to him. Stay in the counts where you can be ahead and you can make your pitches, and today he did a great job.
Yeah, and the big success for Gasser today was the amount of first pitch strikes, like you're talking about, getting ahead. He had a first pitch strike to, let me see here, 18 of 21 batters faced today. 18 of 21 batters had a first pitch strike today. He had no walks. In fact, in his big league career, he is yet to fall into a 3-0 count. The dude is throwing strikes, but he walks that line of, hey, I'm going to throw strikes, but I'm going to throw quality strikes. I'm going to hit the corners. I'm going to get up in your grill. I'm going to go soft away. I'm going to go elevated. He can throw to every quadrant of the zone, to every edge of the zone, with, quite frankly, every pitch in the repertoire, which is why I think he's so successful sitting 93-94.
Now, he's a little bit different from most lefties. Most lefties are built on the sinking fastball. A lot of guys, like you see, Wade Miley likes to pitch on the inside part of plate. But the one thing that I really notice about Gasser, he pitches to the right side of the rubber as you're looking at the plate as a pitcher, to the right side. That angle gives him a dead straight angle where? Right to the inside part of the plate where he likes to dominate. He throws that 4-seam fastball. He's not a big 2-seam style fastball. The ball sinks a lot. He'll throw his changeup out away from hitters a little bit that has a little bit of fade on it. But he really has that 4-seam fastball that he can locate and get a little hop to it. And he can locate that to all 4 quadrants, like you just said. That and that cutter. He keeps the cutter down. He's a kind of pitcher that pitches down in the zone, the old style of pitching down in the zone. But when he needs to go up, he goes up effectively. He stays out of that middle quadrant of the strike zone, and really that makes him effective. And that's the way he was today. You look at him down in the lower half of the strike zone, but then when he needed it, he'd go in that upper third of the strike zone. Stay out of that middle part of the strike zone, you won't get hurt. He did a great job today.
And furthermore, he didn't even have an at-bat with a runner on second base until he was pulled from the game when the first 2 batters reached with singles in the 7th inning. He really got to cruise. He got to sit in his rhythm. And I know the Cubs' offense has been, quite frankly, awful in the month of May, but he did what he was supposed to do against an offense that was stacked with righties. The only lefty in there was Cody Bellinger. And you talk to lefties and you talk to guys who are used to facing right-handed hitters. It's like, yeah, my arsenal is built to get right-handers out. And you kind of played into that hand immediately, like you're talking about with being able to hit the corners, the cutter being low. It's like there was nothing hit hard. There wasn't any sort of big drama against Gasser today until he was pulled. And quite frankly, the Cubs lineup just played right into exactly what he wanted you to do, is that, if you want to take and get comfortable, well, blink and you're 0-2. Oh, you want to try to swing early? You're not going to get barrel on this ball. And Robert Gasser is, you would think, 4 starts in, is only going to get better.
He has great sense of feel for a pitch. We saw him today when he throws fastball on the inside part of the plate and really locate the ball for the strike zone, or even when he had some really good strikes down in a way. Those are 4-seam fastballs that he really went down in the zone or up in the zone and really located the good spots. But the one thing that's different about him, Dom, when we talk about a cutter, a lot of times you talk about a cutter that has a little bit of tilt, which I mean it goes from from a lefty would go from like 11 to 3, but it's short and it's quick and it's like a fastball. His isn't like that. He throws a cutter because of his arm angle. He has that low 3/4 arm angle. The cut is more of an east-west cut, but he locates it so well. What does he do on his own? I don't think it's a call pitch, but that little sweeper he's got. He'll throw that sweeper, that little bit of off-speed pitch. It has good downward plane movement. He keeps it down in the zone. And really, that's what makes him effective. he has such confidence in that cutter and that sweeper that he can throw down his zone, use a changeup effectively like his four-seam fastball, and then pitch his fastball to four quadrants. That's what makes him successful. He's a little different. He isn't your natural, your guy you look out and you say, hey, he's a left-hander, he's going to throw A, B, C, and D. He's a little bit different, but he's effective because why? He throws strikes.
Strikes are the name of the game. Another lefty we got to talk about here in this first segment before we head to break and talk about the offense. Brian Hudson. I'm out of words. I am truly out of words. He goes 2 innings, just one base runner, an innocent single there in the 8th inning. He strikes out 3. Nothing was hit hard. He broke a couple bats. He got some help from his defense. Brian Hudson has a sub .8 ERA. It's getting harder and harder for him to lower his ERA at this point in the season. And he comes into boiling water, and he drops a couple ice cubes into it there with first and second, nobody out. Strikeout, pop out, strikeout in the 7th inning, and that gave all the momentum over to the other dugout. Brian Hudson is an all-star pitcher despite not being the closer. He might be one of the best pitchers in the National League, even though he's not the closer.
I think he's a little bit different when you talk about he's a lot like Milner. They throw out of that lower arm slot, and what they do is their ability to dominate both sides of the plate with their fastball is so important. You watch these guys when they need a good fastball. Yeah, they'll throw the ball up in the zone in the upper quadrants, but they really dominate that lower quadrant with their fastballs. When you do that from the angle of, unlike Gasser, who pitches from the right side of the rubber facing the hitter, those two guys stand on the left side, which changes that angle. And when you think about a guy being 6'9", Randy Johnson-like, coming from way out down low, and you can throw that ball to the zone, that angle is so difficult to pick up, and I think that's what makes him effective. But Hobie's the same way. Doesn't throw as hard, but they angles them. They don't throw that high 3/4, low 3/4, and you come down from there, and you can locate the ball on the inside part of the plate, outside part of the plate, down the zone. That makes that sweeper or their cutters or their sliders that much better. And I'll tell you, both of these guys have just been fantastic because they do both throw their sliders to both sides of the plate. When they need to go up in the zone, they will, but they can also throw that changeup. But I'll tell you, effectiveness comes throwing strikes, number one, and they both do it. And number two, being able to keep the ball down in the zone with that good breaking ball down that starts in the zone and breaks down out of the zone. Very effective.
Brian Hudson, 3-0 record, 0.59 ERA. Among relievers with at least 20 innings this year, only one has a lower ERA. That's Emmanuel Clase, the closer for the Guardians. He's got 30 1/3 innings, 36 strikeouts, just 7 walks. Opponents are hitting like $150 against him. Furthermore, yes, he's allowed 2 runs this season. Well, one of them was an inside-the-park home run on an ill-fated dive by Sal Frelick against Ellie De La Cruz. The other, he thought he got Patrick Wisdom out on a strike 3 call. Instead, it was called ball 3, and on the very next pitch, a little stoink into center for the second run that he had allowed all year. That's it. That is all Hudson has allowed. He has been incredible. Thank you, Los Angeles Dodgers. Let me get to a couple of texts here before we go to break. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. This one from Doug. I think we all knew when the lefty went out it was a win, and then they broke it open thanks to Gasser. They had a chance to do it. I agree entirely. It was a anybody but Justin Steele type day. What an atmosphere at the ballpark today. This one from Josh in Milwaukee. Willie was the spark plug we needed in the 8th, but Gasser is my player of the game. He's been nothing but impressive so far, and he matched Steele pitch for pitch today. Let's do it again tomorrow. Mason in Green Bay, love seeing Terang and Bowers in the lineup against a lefty, and Steele looked healthy, especially with the recent struggles against traditional left-handed splits. Do you think that shakeup happens more often with lineups moving forward? Also, Hudson is absolute nails. I agree. Let's talk about the offense coming up next. Brewers win 5-1 in Game 1 of a 4-game set with the Cubs. Back with more after this on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy, I'm getting better sleep, I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
You're listening to Brewers Extra Innings, presented by Fifth Third Bank on WTMJ.
Fifth Third Bank is the presenting sponsor of Brewers Extra Innings all season long. Brewers win 5-1. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. What a night for the crew. Game 1 of a 4-game series. Fifth Third Bank, though, also knows how to hit it out of the park with a local Milwaukee team. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities to help your business succeed. It's commercial banking value that only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Let's talk a little offense here. Let's talk about what the Brewers got going in the 8th inning, and how about pulling the correct lever for Pat Murphy to go to Sal Frelick off the bench. He was previously 0 for 8 in his career as a pinch hitter, and he lines a single into right center to start off the frame against a really tough splitter pitcher when Mark Leiter Jr., and that really set things in motion. And for me, in that 8th inning, the at-bat that's going to be forgotten is Bryce Terang's great walk. He was behind 0-1, then took the next 4 pitches, a couple of splitters in there too, that really kept the heat turning up and up and up, and then ultimately it popped when Madrigal made the error against Contreras.
Yeah, when you talked about that inning when you had Leiter come in the ball game, it's all about throwing strikes. What's the difference when you look at the Brewers relief bullpen? When they come in the ball game, they don't strike, they don't walk. You look like today, the only walk was to Wisdom, and that was a really close pitch that could have been called a strike. So when you look at the Brewer pitchers coming in, they're throwing strikes. When you look at what Sal Frelick did when Leiter came in, he knows he has that good split finger pitch that it goes out of the zone. He stood up there and he gave him a good at bat. Got a pitch that he could handle up over the plate and was able to hit it in the gap where he got the base hit. And then Terang, after the 0-1 count, with that good pitch, that first pitch, I thought Leiter made a really good pitch. He sat up there and just took some pitches because he knows Leiter's strength is that split finger. And if you can't command the strike zone and you can get ahead of him as a hitter, there's a good chance you're going to get a good pitch a hit. I thought that, like you said, Dom, I thought the Terang walk was a huge walk. Being able to go 0-1 to fight back and get that walk there and laying off those good split finger pitches, I thought that was huge and set the tone for the inning.
I was very surprised Craig Counsell went to Hayden Wisniewski after the game was 1-0, where there was only 1 out. You had a splitter guy up there who gets ground balls, and Willie's kind of a free swinger, and Wisniewski has a great slider. I understand there was something the Cubs in that matchup that they liked. But how about Willie Adames? I did the numbers on this. 3-0. That was only the 10th time he's ever swung on 3-0 in his career, in 56 career plate appearances that have gotten to 3-0. Or rather, I should say 56 career plate appearances that end in 3-0, not necessarily the only 3-0 counts he's seen, but he's only swung 9 times coming into today on a 3-0 pitch. And kudos over on the television side that Bill Schroeder called to say he's got the green light. Be ready. And he got a fastball down, did not miss it. Willie Adames 2 for 4 today. He needed some good news in his direction, and 427 feet to dead center is certainly some good news for him.
There's after that misplay at third base when they had that double play ball was hit awful hard. Madrigal would have to make a really nice play on it. I thought that the strikeout to Yelich when you saw him there, that Leiter came in, he was able to strike him out, got that good split finger. I thought what Craig Counsell was thinking there, I need a strikeout. With Willie Adames, if I can get a guy with a good fastball, get ahead of him, and he's got that good slider, Wisniewski's got a good breaking ball. If I can get ahead of him, I can get a strikeout, maybe leave it at 1-0. We could fight back here. And I thought that's what Craig's thought processes was there. Get a strikeout rather than maybe have Leiter, who is falling behind in hitters and who depends on that split finger. So I thought the move was not a bad move. I just thought that what happened is he got behind 3-0, and I'm going to tell you what, Willie Adames got a pitch in the zone that he could hit, and he put a great swing on it, and really the difference in the ballgame, hitting that big home run.
This text made me smile from Tom in South Dakota. I take back everything negative I said about Willie in the last month. Now I'm already feeling upset that we're going to lose him in free agency. Hey, don't think like that, Tom. Enjoy it while it happens. We're only a third of the way into the season, and this was seriously a really big moment for Willie to try to get back on track. But I love the unrelenting effort of the offense today. You had the walk to Ortiz. It was his only time on base today. But Chourio showed some signs today. We're not going to overreact to a 2-for-4 day for Chourio, but for him to go to the opposite field once, also get a pair of 2-strike hits today, make some solid contact, is certainly encouraging for him, given he's been in and out of the lineup recently. But Chourio continuing to be like, okay, you can see moments where it's like, ooh, that was good. He made a great play in right field today. Like, ooh, that was good. You keep stacking up these good games for Chourio, that is going to groom some confidence for him moving forward.
Yeah, I like the swing. I like the first hit he had off when you look at what he did off a steal. He got a 2-strike pitch, a little breaker ball up in the count. He stayed back on the ball. He went right with the pitch, was able to drive it into left field for a base hit. Good patience on that ball. But the ball he hit to right center, that's his power. He hit his first home run in the big leagues to right center. When he stays back on the ball, I don't care how hard you throw, gets a pitch up over the middle plate and just goes that way. He swings it back for well. He put a good swing on that ball, was able to get a big run for the Brewers there. I like his approach today. Good staying back on a 2-strike pitch on a breaking ball. What do you want to do? You want to stay back on the ball and let it travel a little bit. He did that, got the base hit, and then on Wisniewski, got that good fastball away from him, was able to hit it in the gap. So kudos for Chourio today. I thought he had 2 really good at-bats.
Yeah, and when you look at this lineup today, we mentioned it in the last text a little bit ago before the first segment ended, that there were 2 lefties aside from Yelich. Yelich is a given that he's going to be in there against the lefty. But Bowers and Terang got starts, albeit in the bottom third of the order, against a left-handed starter. Now, to be fair, neither one of them got a hit off of that left-handed starter, but Bowers reached on a hit by pitch and Terang reached on a walk. Maybe this is a sign of saying, you know what? And the leverage bullpen for the Cubs, by the way, is all right-handed. You're not going to see any leverage lefties come in. The only lefties in the pen are Drew Smiley and Luke Little. Neither of those guys really pitch in leverage situations. So the thought is, hey, maybe even against Shota Imanaga on Wednesday, too, you're going to see the lefties in there for that same reason as well. I liked it. I really did. Let's get a sample size and give these lefties a chance to go against left-handed pitching, because when Garrett Mitchell comes back, you're going to be even more left-handed, so there's going to be decisions to make when it comes to left-on-left matchups.
Oh, I like the approach by both those guys. They both Bowers and Terang. And you see Terang had 2 walks today, but his approach was so good at the plate. One thing these guys do, when you look at Bowers and what he's done, we've seen him hit a home run against a left-hand pitcher, and you see him go with the pitch. When he gets a 2-strike pitch and it's lefty on lefty, he's got that willingness to take the ball the other way, whatever pitch it is. If you want to get him out, you better show him on a pitch on the inside part of the plate, and you better get it for a strike there. Otherwise, you throw a pitch away, they're going to put a good swing, both Terang and Bowers. And I thought they had some really good at-bats. Bowers got robbed on a great play. Otherwise would have had a base hit. But both the guys' approaches at the plate are patient. They go deep in the counts. They take a lot of pitches. And if you make a mistake, they're going to swing the bat and they're going to get a base hit. And so I like the approach by both lefties today, along with Christian Yelich.
Yeah, I think you just got to give them a shot. Let's see what they can do against lefties, and let's stack it up at the end of the year and see what it looks like. A couple of texts here, 616-1620. Welcome to call in as well. Happy Memorial Day, Dom, from Aaron in Illinois. What a win. I think we have a solid lefty in our rotation, and Hudson's work this year has been great. Maybe the MVP of the bullpen so far. Not maybe, he is. Nice to see Churio have a good game. It seems he's starting to get it together. And any update on Hoskins? He hit on the field today. He has been receiving ground balls. The last check for him is to run full speed. He is listening to the advice of the medical staff. I know he wants to be back within the next week, given the Brewers head to Philadelphia, his return back to the organization that drafted him. So he's trying to get himself back for that, but we'll listen to the medical staff on that. Mike in Colorado, listening on the radio, the Brew Crew fans were absolutely incredible. It sounded as though the crowd ratio was like 3-1. One of the best games I've heard in years, and cheers to the fans. I hope they made it rough on Benedict Council. That made me chuckle there as well. And finally, Tom in Pewaukee, I was at the game, and my gosh, that atmosphere was electric. And Bob Gass getting ahead in counts left and rights, finally found the strikeouts in a big way. Hopefully he can learn to climb the mountain. That is the third time through the order because the pitch count was in great shape. Take a breather, come back with more, talk about overarching thoughts about Council in this series as the Brewers win by a 5-1 final. This is Brewers Extra Innings on 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and Abbey Windows. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Thrifters can spot great deals from a mile away. And here the term great deal is an understatement. The lowest prices on men's, women's, and children's clothing, toys, furniture, housewares, jewelry, and accessories, bikes, books, games, and more. And every time you're here, you'll find something new. So if you're thrifty, you'll find this place is pretty nifty. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Not wearing your seatbelt could cost you a ticket or your life. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
That was a fun one. That was a fun one. Brewers victorious 5-1 over the Cubs. Game 1 of a 4-game series and a 7-game homestand. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is with us as well. I've got the player of the game poll up on my Twitter account at Dom_Cotroneo. This one's pretty level right now. Gasser starting to take the lead at 57% of the votes. A couple of votes. Ed saying other, all of the above. The great thing is that all of these guys, this one from Rebecca, all these guys are awesome choices. It's just never one guy. They all work together and support each other. Egos checked at the door. This one from Josh, Pat Murphy. This one from Laura, you can't make me pick. Aaron in Illinois, hit the gas. So plenty to choose in this one, Augie. What Gasser did today, it was his 4th start ever. And quite frankly, his stability has been huge for the Brewers. And being able to say, I openly asked, all right, on Thursday, we don't know the rotation yet. Is Gasser, a rookie in his 4th start, going to pitch in that environment? And man, in the words of Pat Murphy, he was locked in from the start. And he really kind of showed us what he's made of today, that even in all this atmosphere and all this chaos, he's able to lock it in and deliver his best performance yet.
Welcome your challenge, and that's what he does. I tell you what, he's one thing that's so impressive, I really like the way his style of pitching, where he pitches down in the zone. He knows his success has to be down, and he's got that lower arm angle. He's a little bit different than you see out of a traditional left-hander. He's down in that lower arm angle. It's a little bit like Hudson, a little bit like Milner, but he keeps the ball down. I would say when you look at the guys in the arm angles that you're seeing, he's like the equivalent to a right-hander Freddie Peralta. When you think about Freddie and what he does, the way he pitches, he gets elongated, his arm angles down, he throws the ball, and he really doesn't throw the ball on a trajectory downward plane. He throws it on an even plane, but he's got good location. He locates the ball on both sides. I think when you look at Freddie Peralta and you look at Gasser, a lot of similarities. Only one's right-handed, one's lefty. And the one thing about Gasser, commands the strike zone. When you're looking at 80 pitches, 63 strikes, that's domination. When you're looking at 18 first pitch strikes, that's domination, because what you're doing, you're giving yourself an opportunity to win the ball game. And I thought he's been outstanding. He's just been a real positive for his pitching staff. And if you go pitcher to game, player to game, I tell you what, today it has to be Gasser.
I agree entirely. Let's talk a little, though. I mean, I was there with Counsell, said hello, shook his hand, and save all the hellos for tomorrow, given how chaotic it was today. But all things considered, and I know you talked about your relationship with Craig, given you've known him since he was a child. And for me, obviously, I've only known him in a professional setting. I've always enjoyed my time with him. I've always learned something from him. And today, I don't think he was caught off guard by the reaction he got, because he saw the smiles and you just kind of have to wear it, right? I mean, what else is he supposed to do? Be stern and be like, I can't believe they're booing me? No. Like, I think he handled it as well as you could have in that situation. No one was surprised. I think for me, the overwhelming, like, absolute no doubt booing. I'd always thought it was going to be mixed. No doubt 100% boos. I did not hear any cheers. And Counsell smiled about it, moved on, and I'm sure this is maybe the start of a new normal for him anytime he's playing in Milwaukee. And I tend to agree with some fans who say, look, if he had joined 27 other teams, it would have been a standing ovation. Thanks for all you've done. But because it's the Cubs and the other team being the Cardinals, that's why we get the reaction that we've got.
Yeah, there's no question. Dom, I'm going to put it a little bit different way. I thought the boos were actually a sign of respect on how much they miss him and what they care and how much they like what he did here. When Craig Counsell here and he took over this organization, he changed the culture. He changed the culture to say, hey, you know what? Be a good teammate. Be a good person. Let's have a great relationship. Let's do there's no standards to how well you can be. He brought all that culture here. And I thought today, I saw the smile on his face. And, if they would have cheered him, I'm sure he would have smiled also. But I think it's a sign of respect saying, hey, you know what? Boy, you mean a lot to us. And you know what? You did so much. We don't mind you leaving. We don't want you going to the Cubs, our big rivalry. But it was I thought a little bit of a sign of a funny way of showing respect for someone who did something really good for Milwaukee. How do you like that, Tom?
I like that. I look at it saying, you know what? He did everything in this market except win the whole dang thing, and it's really hard to win the whole dang thing. So I all-time winningest manager. Some folks were confused by the tribute video. Like, why would you even try? It's like, look, you play the tribute video. You take the high road as an organization. You let the fans do their thing. You weren't going to be able to control the fans one way or another. They weren't asking the fans to get up and cheer Craig Counsell. The organization, I think, putting out that tribute video right before the starting lineups, it was 20 seconds long, for goodness sake. Let's not overreact to it. Just saying, hey, thanks for all you've done, but now you're the enemy. Let's play ball. And I thought that was very well handled. And you're right. The boo is a sign of respect for Craig Counsell. On this note, though, all of the energy of today and everything that went down, this is just game 1 of 4. And cool, now you've leveled the season series 2 apiece. You got to avoid that letdown tomorrow. I know Freddie's got the ball, but tomorrow you can have that adrenaline flush out of you. It'll still be a packed house, maybe not as packed. Just got to make sure you don't fall flat tomorrow or the rest of this series.
Well, the only thing about momentum, you say, oh, man, the Brewers had a great momentum. Gasser pitched a great game. Steele pitched a great game. Our bullpen came in, did a real good job, as they usually have been doing. Adames hit the big 3-0 home run and gave us the cushion to win the ball game. But you know what? Momentum only goes one day. It's your starting pitcher the next day. Now it's in the hands of Freddie Peralta. these are big series. This is a real nice series to say, hey, you know what? We've been to your place. We've played in your place. You had the fun of playing in Chicago. Now you're in our house. Let's see what happens. And I think this series is going to be a fun 4-game series, and hopefully the Brewers can continue it on with Freddie Peralta tomorrow night.
All right, Jerry Augustine will be with us again tomorrow night as well, talking some Brewers. Appreciate your time, Augie, and, man, this was fun. Can't wait to talk more tomorrow.
Oh, it's a rivalry. Hey, we got a great rivalry now. We just got Craig Council rivalry, and that makes it all that much more fun. But a big game for the Brewers tomorrow. Today was awesome. What a great day to go to the ballpark and see a game well pitched and win like the Brewers did today. So let's keep it going. Let's win tomorrow.
This was a lot of fun. All right, Jerry Augustine on WTMJ. We'll take a breather. We've got more to talk about, some fan reaction rolling in as well. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620 if you want to join us on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ. The Political Power Hour with Steve Scafidi.
This is a story that deserves our attention.
Hearing from political experts from across Wisconsin and beyond.
Obviously, like you said, I lean to the left a little bit. This seems like another example of Democrats cleaning up after a mess left by Republicans.
Judges are confronted with multiple issues in cases. You don't have to decide all of them. You have to decide the critical one that the case really hinges on.
Weekdays from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed. Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hassellus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hassellus Mattress.
Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassellus.com.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngworth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Welcome back to Brewers Extra Innings.
Fun times indeed. The Brewers win 5-1. Brewers Extra Innings is also brought to you in part by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Trusting your family's comfort at home all year long with Cider. And you've only got a few days left to save $25 on AC preventative maintenance appointments. You can check up on that at Cider, SEIDER.com. Again, Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Find out more at Cider.com. You know, we talked about it briefly there with Augie at the end about, hey, this is just game one of a 4-game set. You're going to face the best pitcher in the National League on Wednesday. Don't get too big for your britches. But at the same time, to see this response after, quite frankly, an underwhelming and a frustrating series down at Wrigley a couple of weeks ago, to have the Brewers come out and make this statement late, I thought was massive. And to say that, hey, wait a minute, don't forget about us. This is for real. The rest of the Central is just sort of stuck in this weird neutral pattern right now. I mean, the Reds win again today. They had quite the holiday weekend, sweeping the Dodgers, and then today they get the win against the Cardinals, who have been playing a lot better as of late. But as the Brewers continue to dominate the division, I mean, this is going to be a story later in the year when we start talking about divisional records, and we start talking about tiebreakers, and we start talking about how you're doing against head-to-head, right? So the Brewers, they've already won 6 of the first 7 games against the Cardinals this year, meaning they only got to win 1 of the final 6 to claim that tiebreaker. They've won a series against the Reds. They're now 2-2 against the Cubs. So far against the Pirates, they had split at Pittsburgh, and they won the series here. So they're up 4-3 in that one. So a little more to figure out. But the Brewers now, they have played the most games of anybody in the Central against the Central opponents. They're now 14-7. Next closest is Pittsburgh. They're 7-7. So 7 games above 500 versus a team that is 500. You are building space. I don't care about the standings. I care more about the head-to-head right now, because the compressed nature of this series with the Cubs means it's going to be over in the blink of an eye. We talked about it. You've got this 4-game set. You'll have another set over a weekend at the end of June here in Milwaukee. And then finally, you blink coming out of the All-Star break, that midweek series coming out of the All-Star break, boom, you are done with the Cubs before the trade deadline. So to claim a season series as early as possible is going to be massive. I think it's going to come down to the wire, given now each team has won 2 apiece. The Brewers are now 31-22. The Cubs fall to 500 at 27-27. You look at the rest of the National League right now. The Braves just lost Ronald Acuna Jr. They're currently 6.5 games back of the Phillies. The Phillies have the best record in baseball at 38-16. They haven't really played anybody yet, but they're doing what they're supposed to against inferior teams. They don't have Trey Turner for a while. Their pitching staff has been phenomenal, and the Brewers will see them next week. But the rest of the division, the Mets have not taken off. Now there's going to be rumors about Pete Alonso being traded. The Nationals have been a pleasant surprise, but they're still not quite ready yet, so it's likely still just going to be a Philly-Atlanta representation in the East. The Central, behind the Brewers, is wide open, and I'm not saying the Brewers are going to run away with it. I'm just saying if there's going to be a second team in involvement, it's wide open at this point because they're all within 3 games of each other. The Cubs, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Reds. I think the Pirates, with their pitching staff, you cannot count them out. And they're maybe 1 or 2 moves away from getting some bats to make them think that they are a dangerous opponent. And then the West, we know the Dodgers are going to run away with it, but the Padres are finally 500. The Giants are finally 500. The Diamondbacks have been playing okay, and they haven't had Merrill Kelly for the majority of the season. The National League is going to be up in the air all the way up until the deadline, until the teams decide if they're pretenders or contenders. But the only thing that you can control is your division. And the fact that the Brewers are 14-7 against their division is going to be very, very important. Before we get to a break, I want to get to the phone lines, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Mike in Milwaukee, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
Hello. Okay, here's a thing I got to say. The reason I had the call was when you said we're going to be facing the best pitching that there is. The best pitching in the league is what you said, I believe.
With Shota Imanaga on Wednesday, yes.
Well, my opinion is with a team that has the best reliever in Major League Baseball injured and not coming back right now, and all the other things that we've got going against us, I think we have the best pitching going right now. Think about what we've got right now. We've got 2 of the greatest pitchers in baseball right now that are off and injured. One's not coming back this year, and one we don't know, the reliever coming back later, Williams. Okay? We're the best ones, and that's why we're in first place. They are nothing compared to us. My belief, we are the greatest team in the National League right now. I don't know about if you talk about the Yankees, they blew us away a few times, but I still don't believe in the Yankees being as great as they are. This is not the 27 Yankees, the 61 Yankees going on. Bottom line is, we're better than what you were saying, and I'm sorry to have to say that. Don't sell us short. Sounded like you were selling us short.
No. I hear you, Mike. I hear what you're saying, Mike. I'm saying you are facing the best singular pitcher, as in Shota Imanaga, on Wednesday. That is going to be a tall task on Wednesday. I'm not trying to loop the whole Cubs pitching staff because look at their bullpen. It's a dumpster fire right now. Because the Brewers, you're absolutely right, Mike. to do what they're doing without Devin Williams at the back end of the bullpen. So imagine if you let yourself imagine if Abner Uribe gets himself back on track down in AAA and JB Bacausis comes back healthy and you have Devin Williams come back healthy, that's 3 impact arms. And all of the guys in your bullpen will be considered leverage relievers. That is quite the weapon to have for the Brewers moving forward, even though they've moved Bryce Wilson into the rotation. Brian Hudson's going multiple innings. We are certainly seeing an incredible development from the bullpen from the Brewers. There are still plenty of questions in the Brewers starting rotation. They have been fantastic in the last couple of turns. Colin Ray, need to see him get back on track though as well. But I agree, Mike, the Brewers have been sold short, but we're only a third of the way in. This middle third of the season is going to really define if they are for real. And in theory, Gasser's going to get better. Freddie righted the ship right about this time of year last season when he got back on track. And you look at what the Brewers have coming back, there's no reason to believe that they're not going to be any worse than what they are right now. But I agree entirely, Mike. Thank you for the call. I'm up against the break. Got to take it. Up next, we're going to hear from Pat Murphy as the Brewers win 5-1 on 620 WTMJ.
On deck, more Brewers Extra Innings.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. Put it simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Abby with Abby Windows here. If I had $1 for every time customers said, all windows look the same, just give me a price. Well, if that's the case, then you haven't seen ours yet. You're right. Most windows have welds that are ugly, jagged, and look all stitched up, similar to wearing your shirt inside out. I call them Frankenstein windows. If you want a clean, seamless miter that's not inside out, enter our fine line weld technology. Trust me, you'll believe it once you see it. For the best looking window on the market, call Abby Windows today. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
This is Brewers Extra Innings.
Brewers get the victory 5-1. The new manager of the Brewers, Pat Murphy, saw his old mentee kind of get booed to oblivion a little bit today. But here's a little bit of what Pat Murphy had to say after today's win.
They might not have watched it. Did you guys watch the game?
I watched the whole games.
You did?
Same.
Who are you rooting for?
Brewers.
Who do you like on the Cubs?
Dansby Swanson.
You like Swanson?
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Dansby Swanson.
I like Dansby.
Murph, for Gasser to go from 6 strikeouts total to this point in 3 games to, 7 or 8 tonight? Like, what did you see differently in his stuff and his execution?
Yeah, I think you got to credit William too, but he had the little cutter going. He hadn't thrown many cutters. Okay, hold off on that, okay? He hadn't thrown many cutters, and then he had a good changeup at times, and took advantage of the outer half of the plate. And I thought he did a great job. Maybe that's big for a young kid, a rookie, making his fourth start. Is that right? Fourth start. I wanted him to keep going because his pitch count was low, but felt like Hudson was the guy. He's been great. Hudson deserves a lot of credit too. He came in a jam and he absolutely did the job. So
that's the third time now in those 4 starts for Gasser that he's given you 6 innings. How
important has it been just for him to come up? No big league experience coming in, stepping into that rotation, you guys needing innings and just being able to give you that length every time out.
We're almost 1/3 of the season in, and we've used 11 starters. So that's the answer. You know, like to have a guy be able to give you 6 every time. And this is it's not totally surprising, but it is kind of remarkable for a kid to come up and do that so quickly.
Some of these games have been pretty big atmosphere too. The Cardinals' is first game. Today is a full house. I mean, are you learning a little bit about his heartbeat as well?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we all learning that. You know what I mean? You watch what he did today. His focus was impeccable. Did he walk 1 or did he walk 0?
Zero.
That alone, you know. And this is a team with some experience. I mean, this is not a team that has a bunch of rookies on it. I mean, this is a team with experience, and they have aptitude too. So credit to Gass, Hudson. It's great.
One walk through 4 starts. I mean, you talked about how remarkable it is that he's going out there and giving you life, but for a young guy to be able to know someone that well.
And he's humble, and he's still looking to improve, and I thought it was great. The environment was great. You know, I'm telling you, that was, you got to want to be part of that.
For Willie, that was his first homer on a 3-0 count. Only the 10th time he's ever swung on a 3-0 count. But he said out there, that's just, you want to be aggressive there, and that's the situation, so you go for it.
Absolutely. That kid's got a really good breaking ball, and I think he knew he was going to get a heater right there, and he's got to get the ball out in the outfield. And if you look at that pitch, the ball's a little bit, I'll bet, it's a little bit below the zone. Might be called a ball. But he put a great swing on it. And when Willie doesn't try to do too much and he stays in the center of the field and he's ready every pitch, he's a special player.
Special players, special plays. Some of the younger listeners will know about that one. Brewers get the win. Let's relive it with some highlights up next. 5-1 on 620 WTMJ.
Coming up, more Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
The surgeons that I know are good people. They just want to do what they can to help you feel better. And the surgeries they perform can do wonders for their patients. But medicine's a business, and surgery is the big ticket item. And there are surgeries that are absolutely necessary. In almost all cases, a total knee replacement isn't one of them. It's a last resort. So before you opt for a total knee replacement, if you haven't been to Rejuvenex, you may find that we have treatments that can give you the relief you're looking for. They're FDA approved, and they can alleviate pain, in many cases significantly. And insurance could cover a big portion of, if not all of our treatment costs. The osteoarthritic pain you're feeling will only worsen, and that's why you should take action now. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
The Stony Creek bedroom at Penny Mustard looks exactly like its name.
The Stony Creek reminds me of a bubbling brook lulling me off to La La Land.
If a majestic forest had a bedroom set, this would be it.
A bedroom in the forest?
Creeks have beds, don't they?
The Stony Creek bedroom, starting at just $284 a month, with only 1 penny down and no interest till May of 2027 through June 3rd at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. My home is my happy place. It's happier thanks to CertaPro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. It was quick. It was easy. You can schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's CertaPro with a C. Estimates are easy. Estimates are accurate. They clean up. CertaPro Painters are the real deal. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Ready for this?
Get up!
This?
Get up!
And this?
Get out of here! Go!
Time for tonight's highlights. Here's Dominic Catronio.
All right, we all knew what today was. Craig Counsell's return to American Family Field for the first time in the visiting dugout. Plenty of boos were heard throughout the night, but there was a ball game to be played. It was a battle of the Southpaws, Robert Gasser and Justin Steele. This is all about the pitchers early. Got some help from the defense early as well. Bryce Terang getting in on the act.
Had a 4 from St. Louis. Gasser delivers this one lined and caught. Bryce Terang as high as he could leap, able to make the play and take a hit away from Madrigal. Nice play by Bryce Terang. Lost out of the Gold Glove to Nico Horner at second base. Might be Bryce Terang's this year to lose. He's had a heck of a season defensively.
Both pitchers were scoreless through 5 innings. In the 6th, Gasser was back to work for a second time through the order.
Gasser, here it is. Struck him out swinging off speed. Another strikeout for Robert Gasser. What a game. Wow.
That was a career-high 7th strikeout for Robert Gasser in his young career. But the problem was, it was still 0-0. We fast forward now to the 8th inning. After Gasser exited with 2 on in the 7th, Brian Hudson escaped the 7th inning with a pair of strikeouts. He returned for the 8th. A man was aboard in a scoreless frame, and he kept the electricity up.
Hudson throws home, runner goes, swing and a miss, and Hudson struck out Nico Horner. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Still 0-0. Finally, some action began. Sal Frelick started off the bottom of the 8th, pinch hitting. He lined a single into right center. Then Bryce Terang worked a really tough walk against Mark Leiter Jr. and set the stage for the exact guy he wanted up, William Contreras.
1-0. Ground ball left side, and eats up the third baseman. Here comes Frelick. He scores. Terang to third. 1-0 Brewers.
You would have been happy with that as Jeff Levering's call came across WTMJ. Yelich would strike out as the next batter. Still men on the corners. New pitcher Hayden Wesneski came in to face Willie Adames. He fell behind 3-0.
3-0 pitch. Fly ball deep center. Bellinger back. And it is gone. Home run number 8 for Willie Adames. And he has busted this one wide open.
427 feet away. That made it 4-0 Brewers. And just for good measure, how about Jackson Churio getting in on the action?
Wesneski deals. Fly ball right center. That's headed towards the gap. It is down and off the wall. Ortiz will score. An RBI double for Jackson Churio.
7 of the 9 starters all reached base today. The Brewers win the game 5-1 in Game 1 of this 4-game series with the Cubs. We'll wrap it up and preview the rest of the week after this. Brewers win 5-1 on 620 WTMJ.
Wisconsin's pretty big. Can just 2 people tell all its stories?
I don't know, but we're going to try.
I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan, and we're the hosts of Spanning the State on WTMJ.
We'll cover the news, interesting stories, and fascinating people.
From Superior to Sheboygan.
Rhinelander to Racine.
Bayfield to Bayview.
Platteville to Peshtigo, and all the points in between.
Telling stories close to you and addressing issues that impact the whole state.
It'll be fun, informative, and always about Wisconsin.
Spanning the State, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3
on WTMJ.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Your family, your memories, our priority. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Inflation is real, but not at the family-owned Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. This is new. Every Monday, when you buy 1 pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 5 pizzas, get 5 free. Buy 10, get 10 free pizzas. Coaches and teachers, bring your team or school club. Your players will love the pizza and that world-class game room. It's safe. It's super affordable. It's great team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and clients. They'll remember you, and a great way to start the week is your second pizza is always free. Don't cook and clean today. Mondays are tough enough. Enjoy the free pizza at the Mine Shaft. I love the pizza. Your kids and grandkids will love that huge game room. Order now, pick up your pizza shortly, or dine in. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off the interstate in Oshkosh. Buy one pizza today, get one free for an easy Monday. And desserts, buy one, get one free. Just walk on in. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Don't miss out on the Memorial Day event at Ken Michaels Furniture. Our entire showroom of heirloom quality furniture is on sale. Enjoy unprecedented discounts of 35% on Norwalk, Bradenton Young, and Amish solid wood furniture. Create a sofa, chair, recliner, or sectional as unique as you are with our thousands of customizable upholstery options. Or take immediate delivery on in-stock items. Shop the Memorial Day event now at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made individually for you out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress, and with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Stop in today.
All right, last couple minutes here of the show. Back to night games the next couple of days. Brewers, Cubs, 6:40 the next two nights. Coverage begins at 6:05 with the On Deck Show right here on 620 WTMJ. So that's both tomorrow night and Wednesday night. The pitchers tomorrow, Freddie Peralta for the Brewers against right-hander Ben Brown. He is a rookie, young right-hander. He's been in and out of the bullpen this season, but they need some length out of him tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, it will be Bryce Wilson, who had a great outing against the Red Sox back on Saturday, or rather on Friday, I beg your pardon. Bryce will get the start against Shota Imanaga. Still a sub-1 ERA. He has shattered some MLB records as far as the thoughts of all-time National League pitchers, which is kind of wild to say for Imanaga. And then on Wednesday, or rather on Thursday, it's a noon game, 12:10 first pitch. Coverage will begin shortly after 11:30 here on 620 WTMJ. As that one will feature Colin Ray for the Brewers and Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. Like I said this last week, you get a split, you're happy. You win the series, you're absolutely vibing. If you get a sweep, now that's ridiculous in a 4-game set. The Brewers have already went 3-1 against the Cardinals in a 4-game set, just showing how hard it is to get a sweep. But hey, you can't win them all if you don't win the first, and the Brewers take Game 1 5-1. Thank you to everybody who listened, everybody who tweeted, everybody who followed along. We'll do it again tomorrow. My thanks to Jerry Augustine as well, and to our producer, Evan Witt-Allison. Happy Memorial Day, and keep on swinging.
Grab tickets to any